Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful Veekee James exaggerated sleeve, as you can see right here on the video. So the right fabric for this dress is quality or customized satin fabric. Okay, so you can see this is actually a special satin fabric used right here. You can also use Mikado fabric for this. You can also use satin fabric for it. Okay, any fabric that can stand, that will have a standing effect, will be very good for this tutorial. So if this is what you want to learn, please stay tuned. Thank you. To begin this tutorial, you'll be needing your basic long sleeve. So what I have here is my basic long sleeve, and here you can see my elbow line. So I'm going to work from my elbow line. I'm going to come up by 1 inch on my elbow line. So that is going to be the line of our slash and spread. So we are actually going to slash this sleeve, so we'll be able to get this exaggerated sleeve. So I'm going to cut out from that point and separate the both sleeves. Now I'm going to work from the upper part of the sleeve. So here I'm going to mark 2 inches from the beginning of that sleeve. That is how I'm going to slash it. So I'm going to rule my line vertically, 2 inches vertically all over the sleeve. So after that is done, I'm going to cut out those sections. So I'm going to mark out a line, a horizontal and vertical line on my fresh pattern paper where I'm going to slash and spread. So I'll go over and cut my sleeve according to the lines I marked. So I'm cutting them on those lines. So I'll label them 1 to 7. So make sure you label, then cut them at 2 inches just like you marked out. So I'm going to cut all my sleeve as I marked out, then I'll start to slash and spread them. So this is my line. So I'll just bring the center one, which is number 4. So I'll just place it at the center grain line. You can use your sellotape, you can use your gum to place the first section. So here is my first section, and I'm going to mark 4 inches on the upper part alone. Then I'll bring in the next one, which is number 5. I'll apply my adhesive. You can see how I'm placing them. So for the down piece of it, we are not marking out any number for it. So but on the upper part, we are taking 4 inches spacing. So there's no space for the down piece. So I'll keep putting the sections I cut out according to their numbers. So this is number 6. I've applied my adhesive and I place it at 4 inches too, like that. So you have to make sure it touches each other on the down part. But when it comes to the upper part where we are slashing, we have the spacing at 0.4 inches. So I'll keep repeating this process till I go over the numbers. So I'm going to stick the next one, which is number 7. So for the right side, I am done with it. So I'm shifting it to 4 inches. So make sure the gaps are equal and even. So I'll come over to the left hand side and I'll start to repeat the same process. So I'm repeating the same process at 4 inches like that till I also get to the end. So if you look at what I'm doing right here, what I'm doing is called slashing and spreading the sleeve, so it will be full as it is on the thumbnail. So the fullness I'm putting right here is 4 inches. I'm making it full at 4 inches. That is what I actually mean. While the down part of the sleeve remains the same inches we cut out from the basic sleeve. So here I'm done with the sleeve. So I'm going to create, I'll come up by 3 inches. So make sure you come up by 3 inches on the sleeve grain line and connect, just round it up. You can see how I rounded it up. So that is the sleeve for you. So I'm going to cut out from that section right now. So we'll be able to join it back to the down part of the sleeve, which is the elbow part, to the full length of the sleeve. So here I'm cutting out the sleeve, as you can see right here. So after cutting the sleeve, I'll join them together with a piece of paper. So this is how I join it. I'll just use my adhesive and join the down part and the upper part. So you can see how I'm positioning it. So make sure the grain line, the sleeve grain line, is matching with the down and the upper grain line. So I'm using my adhesive to stick. So once I stick, I'll make sure the grain lines are equal. So you can see me arranging it. So this is the sleeve grain line for the upper one. So I'm adjusting it to match with the sleeve grain line with the down one. So I'll apply my adhesive right now, and then I'll stick the up and the down sleeve together. So this is how you're going to connect the both of them. So after connecting, I'll trim off the excess and I'll proceed to the cutting on my fabric. So I'll just place it on top of my fabric right now and cut. So here I'm done cutting. I added my seam allowances of 1 inch only on the side, but I did not add on the upper piece because we have enough seam allowance there. So I added only on the side, as you can see. So this is my sleeve right now. So we'll proceed to the construction of the pleated part, which is at the center, which has a little bit sweetheart. So now for the construction of that part, I'm going to use my basic sleeve to construct it. So from the 3 inches to the elbow line, I'm going to use my pattern ruler. Can you see how I'm placing the pattern ruler to construct that curve? So I'll just make that curve. So after making that design, I don't know what to call it, whether it's a sweetheart design or whatever, but then you understand what I'm talking about. So I'll just cut it out. So here I have it. So now I'm going to cut it out on my fabric. So I choose to use a different fabric because the fabric I'm using here is actually very dark. So I need something sharp to bring out that detailed design. So I'll place that design and cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out. Please don't add any seam allowance. Just allow it the way it is right there. Just go ahead and cut. So once I'm done cutting, I'm going to stay this piece. So you can use a hard stay, you can use a soft stay. So I'll just go ahead and stay that part. So to make it a little bit firmer. So I'm done staying and I'll put it together and stitch. So here I'm done stitching. I'm going to take the measurement around the part I stitched. I will use it to construct the pleating. So I've taken the measurement around the part I stitched and I got 27 inches. I'll multiply it by 3. So here I have my piece of fabric. So this piece of fabric is length 81. It's 81 inches because 27 times 3 is 81 inches. So you can have your adequate pleat. So I'm going to put it together. The width is 10 inches. When I put it together, because it's on fold, I'll have 5 inches. So I'll just measure 3 inches at the end of it and taper it a little bit. Okay, so I was actually supposed to cut it to nothing. Initially I did 3 inches, but I noticed that it's supposed to be cut to nothing. So I make my notch at the center grain line. Make sure you make your notch on the center grain line. So I'm going to put it together again. So I'll cut it to nothing. That is actually the right way to taper that part, because the shape we have is tapered too. So I'm just tapering it a little more. So just go ahead and taper it. Now I'll go over to my machine and I'm going to stitch. So I'm going to stitch that tapered end, the open part of it, while the other part is unfold. So you can go ahead and stay this part. You can use your soft stay and stay it so it stands the way it's standing. Okay, that is if you are not using a very thick fabric like Mikado. But if you are using Mikado for this project, there's no need to stay. So I'm cleaning up the edges because I'm supposed to weave, but for tutorial purpose I did not serge. I just stitched on it, but please try and make sure you serge and come out with a good work. So after that, I'm going to mark the center grain line and the elbow line, and I'm going to place this design. I will use it to trace out the part I'm going to sew my pleating. So you can see. So I'll just go over to my machine now, follow this tracing line with the pleated fabric. I'm going to pleat it on my machine like that, like that. So here on my machine, I just want to demonstrate to you how I'm pleating it. So I'm going to start from the tapered end and I'll keep pleating little by little, like that, like that. But when you are pleating, make sure your pleats are even, and also make sure the part we notched on the sleeve grain line, you can see the part we notched is fixed at the sleeve grain line too. Okay, so that the shape will look, beautiful as it is. So here I'll keep stitching and pleating. So you can see I'm pleating in one direction. So just go ahead and don't rush it, just take your time and pleat this part, pleat it like that till you get to the end of that point. So you can see why we have to taper this part, because this part is tapered. So if you don't taper it that way, it won't be fine. So this is what we have. Is actually looking so beautiful. So the next thing is to place this part. This part has to be serged too. Please make sure you weave. So I place it on top of it like that, and I'm going to stitch it after my weaving. So I'm going to use my applique. You can also bead like Veekee James beaded has. So this is the time for you to bead before you close your sleeve. So but for me, for tutorial purpose, I just use my gum. You can use your glue gum if you are using this applique. You can also use your uhu gum. So I decided to use my uhu gum, and it sticks perfectly for me too. So here you can see I'm designing that part. So you can bead, you can use your applique, whichever one, all of them is good and nice. So now I'm done on that part. So the next thing I'm going to do is to run my gather stitches. Sorry, not gather stitches, pleating. Please don't gather, pleat. Veekee James pleated. If you want to follow her, please make sure you pleat. So I'm done pleating, and I pleated into my armhole plus 1 inch for my side seam. So my armhole is 22. I have 11 here plus 1 inch, which is 12 inches for the stitching. So I'll go ahead and stitch here. You can see I've stitched and I'm turning it around. So after stitching the side, this is what you are going to have for your sleeve. So you can now go ahead and put a stay. So this stay, I place it on fold at 4 inches. At 4 inches. And I'm going to pleat that stay so it gives that upper piece that firm look. So I'll just pleat. I'll go over to my machine. So I have 4 inches because this part is 4.5. So I just have to give some ease to it. So I've pleated. This is what I have when I pleat. So I'll place this on the sleeve grain line, and I'm going to attach it to give it that puff look. But you can use a net for this actually, because when you wash, this might, fall. So use net. There's this hard net we use in kiddies dresses. That is very good for it. So now we are done with this sleeve, and I believe you learned a lot from this class. So please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell to receive more videos. Thank you.